initiative, which is Talk Series. For those of you who've joined us for the first time, this platform that we've created is like a monthly virtual talk series, and we talk on a range of topics which are important for enabling the transition to modern energy-based clean cooking. Till now, successfully, we've conducted 2 phases in which there were 12 sessions each, and we are already on the 7th session of the 3rd phase today. Before we move on to the session, I would also highlight a large opportunity which we are bringing together, which is called Modern Energy Clean Cooking Forum, which is scheduled in September the 27th of this year in Delhi itself, and it's going to be one of the largest forum to talk on various aspects of modern energy-based clean cooking, and it's going to be conducted in a physical mode in Delhi itself. Uh, yeah, and with this, I will stop here, and I would request Mr. Nitin Bhatt, who's currently serving as a Deputy General Manager at EESL under Ministry of Power. He brings over a decade of expertise in the field of energy efficiency. Mr. Nitin has served as a state head for Punjab and Haryana, spearheading the successful implementation of Ujala. He is also a former member of the advisory board of Punjab State Electricity Regulatory Commission. And Mr. Bhatt is also an alumnus of the prestigious University of Rajasthan, where he has done his bachelor's and master's in arts, and he holds a postgraduate diploma in TV journalism. A veteran journalist, Mr. Bhatt has served as a special correspondent covering political affairs along with the prominent ministries in ETV News Network from 2007 to 2013. I would request Nitinji to take forward this session today and help us understand your program in detail. Thank you. You're on mute right now.
Thank you, Sheetalji. Thank you, Finovista, and thank you, MECS, for inviting ESL and myself for this talk series. Before I start, I would like to tell you a small story how we began this program in ESL. Last year, in the month of February, we received an invitation from the SD of Himachal that we are having almost 325 Anganwadis there in the district of Hamirpur, and we want to do it with the help of ESL, and we need 325 induction cooker stoves and 325 electric pressure cookers. So this quantity is very small. They said to me that as you are heading the SDA program across India, and you had done in our neighboring states like Punjab and Haryana a very good job in terms of Ujala, so please help us with this program. As the quantity is very small, so I went to my CEO that he had joined only 4 months before. I requested my CEO, sir, this is the opportunity we are receiving from Himachal. He said, but yeah, it's a very small quantity. How can you do the procurement? How you will expand this program across India? I said, sir, please give this chance to me, and I will try my level best to make it a national program. So in the month of May, we done a consultative seminar with the help of Finovista in Delhi, and we organize a seminar for the manufacturers who are in the field of who are in the field of clean cooking and who are producing this induction cooker stove and electric pressure cookers. And you will be surprised to know that in just 4 months time, we had done our procurement, and the first procurement for 20,000 induction cooker stove was done in record time of 4 months. And after launching this program in Ladakh, and you will surprise or again surprised to know that we had launched this program in the temperature of minus 17 degrees. And almost 3,000 ladies from the Anganwadis across Ladakh was uh, 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 was there for the inauguration ceremony, and the Lieutenant Governor of Ladakh, Mr. B.D. Mishra Sahab, inaugurated this function. And there is an overwhelming response from across UT. After that, there are various orders from Tripura, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and our first 20,000 exhausted in just 15 days of time. Then after we come up with a second tender of 1 lakh induction cook stove, and the cost from the first tender to the second tender came down to up to 20%. And in the month of November last year, when Honorable Power Minister launched this scheme nationally, and they had given the name National Efficient Cooking Program, at that time, we are also hesitant that if this scheme will be spread to the length and the breadth of the country or not. But in almost, you can say, in 8-9 months' time, close to 1,000 news stories about our clean cooking program was published in various newspapers, television channels, and the media. So it is right that my journalistic background helped me to popularize the scheme, but at the same time, the the push and the support from the ministry as well as from our partners like MECS and Finovista help us a lot to do this kind of program without any big challenge. So first thing is that. Another thing that is very important I would like to share with you is that now we are planning to launch another tender of 10 lakh induction cook stove. As the new government has just joined in, they had asked for the priorities from the ESL. So we had given our task, like in first 100 days, we will do 1 lakh induction cook stove. In 1 year, we will do 1 crore. And in next 5 years, we will do 10 crores induction cook stove. So you will very eager to know where will this induction cook stove will be placed. So, in India, every year under Pradhan Mantri Gramin Awas Yojana, lakhs of houses were built in across country, across the states. So, in Chhattisgarh, there are almost 20 lakhs Gramin Awas Yojana was under process. Similarly, in the state of Haryana, in the state of Rajasthan, in the state of Madhya Pradesh, we are having lots of houses built under this scheme. In last week, you had seen that Pradhan Mantri ji, our Honorable Prime Minister, in his first cabinet meeting, said very categorically that in next 5 years, we will build 3 crores uh, Pradhan Mantri Gramin Awas Yojana, PM houses. So in these houses, we are in talks with the Power Ministry and the Urban Development Ministry and various other stakeholders to make it mandatory to put an induction stove in every household, and each and every household. Number one. Number two, we are having 14 lakhs of Anganwadis across India, where per day more than 1 crore children below the age of 7 years are getting food, getting their midday meal. So this is another opportunity. Number three is the big community kitchens. India is a country of various religions and sects, and we are having various big community kitchens in various parts of our country. We are having Radha Swami, we are having BEPS, we are having Tirupati, Devasthanam Trust, ISKCON. They are feeding almost 1 crore people per day. So they are also joining hands with the ESL. We had entered in a MOU with the BAPS, Swaminarayan sect, and they are also planning to introduce this clean cooking initiatives in their premises, in their temples, in their administrative blocks. Similarly, our team is going to various other religious institutions like Nirankaris, like Radha Swami, like ISKCON, that you will adopt this scheme. These are some examples that we had done in last 8-10 months to populate. Another thing that is very important, one of the state governments came to us and said that please come to our state and provide a presentation that how this scheme is viable for Northeast and the far-flung areas of Jammu Kashmir and other areas where the transportation is very low. I will give you an example. If you want to transport a cylinder, LPG cylinder from Amritsar to Leh, it will cost 1,000 rupees for transportation. Then again, if you want to transfer this LPG cylinder to Nubra, Janskar, or Chentang, you have to invest another 1,000. The cost of induction cooks, the cost of LPG cylinder is 1,000, and you are spending 2,000 for the transportation. So, in terms of energy saving, these induction cook stoves are 30% energy efficient than the LPG stove. They are very light weighted appliances that can be transferred from one place to another very easily. So these in last almost 1 or 2 months, we are finding very good response from various state governments, various institutions, as well as from the our channel partners. We are also having close to 100 channel partners across India promoting our sales initiative. They are also coming to us. They said, please provide us induction cook stove so that this can be given to the street vendors as well. Our organization in Madhya Pradesh came to us that we are having we are cooking snacks for the evening to the visitors there to who are coming to see the lake. So I think, sir, this is the good idea to provide them the induction cook stove. We went to that organization. They said, yes, sir, it will help us to make our all cooking clean. So we are working on those lines as well. In next week, I am going to Nainital because there is a lake there, Naini Lake. On the both side of lakes, there are eateries. There are small thelas and uh, you can say the street vendors who are providing snacks to the visitors or travelers or tourists there. We are also urging them to adopt this clean cooking initiative because similarly, as like Ladakh, they are also finding difficulty to adopt LPG. They have to pay higher price in terms of induction cook stove for their cooking for this type of food there. So we are right now we are pinpointedly targeting the northeastern states, hilly areas, Ladakh, Jammu Kashmir, as well as the Anganwadis. In first phase, we will try to capture all Anganwadis. In another phase, we are also in talks with the higher authorities there in the ministry to help us to make it mandatory for PM Gramin Awas Yojana, so that from the day one there will be clean cooking initiative from almost 3 to 5 crore houses. So that's all from my side. I can elaborate more, but I think I will give my answers in your questions, whatever you will ask me, to give you the better insight of this entire program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nitinji, for that detailed understanding of the programs and initiatives. Yes, we have a lot of points that we've put forward for this program. And I think we'll be joined also by your team who's going to be responding to that. I will, unfortunately, Dr. Nick is not able to join us today for the session. He's facing some problem in connectivity. So I'll request Sinha sir to actually take this forward and, discuss with you on different aspects which are there related to this program and how can we take it forward. Yeah. Yeah. So Sinha sir,
Okay.
requesting you to take it forward.
Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you very much for bringing me in. At, and I can't be a replacement for Dr. Nick. In any case, he's a, I would say, a very tall figure in the as far as the clean cooking is concerned. But anyway, it's my pleasure, my privilege to be here, and I'm happy to see a full team of Energy Efficiency Services Limited here explaining their program. And this is, I mean, a groundbreaking kind of initiative which has been taken by them for us, I mean, say, for taking it to the on a mass scale. I mean, the electric cooking, which is and through the induction, I mean, deployment of 20 lakhs, which is a quite a big number. And they have already initiated the first phase and second phase, and quite successful. I was listening to Mr. Nitin, and he's saying that within a very short time they have been able to procure about so many induction stoves. So that also shows that the kind of supply chain is quite quite developing and not exactly fully developed, but it's in good shape in India also. And I can only hope for better and better as we move forward to this. Any 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 such big transition has its own problem and challenges, and definitely the transition to clean cooking to electric cooking from LPG or biomass is not a difficult one. So, but we are hopeful that this thing will move forward. And in particular, I would like to first introduce our first speaker, Mr. Vimal Kumar. Vimal is no longer a unknown name as far as the clean cooking is concerned. He is well established. I think he has recently taken over as the chairperson of Clean Cooking of India. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. So that shows, I mean, in the last 3-4 years, what Finovista has done and what Vimal has done in the as well as the founder of being Finovista is simply he has brought this topic at the forefront of today. That is most important. Today, nobody is questioning cooking, which was there earlier about 4 years back. It was a different situation, but because of the effort by Finovista and Mr. Vimal Kumar, today is the modalities being discussed as to how to accelerate the transition to our electric cooking. So I would like to invite Vimal Kumar to initiate the discussion and share his thoughts. Vimal.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sinha. So thank you for inviting me and wonderful introduction. Hope I am audible. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this.
you are audible.
Yeah, so this clean cooking and especially the national program, national energy efficient program. So the name itself suggests that we are talking about now national, and when we say national at the scale of India, it is going to be in millions is the very small number. It actually go beyond that also. And when we say the devices deployment, definitely the millions, which is going to impact the life of billions. So this is the kind of scale which Mr. Nitin has highlighted. He mentioned about 10 crores number. And as we all know, 10 crores is not a small number. And considering the EESL strength, 10 crore is nothing. And the kind of leadership we have, the Nitin, which actually pushed this in the last few months, which we know very well, and we are very much hopeful. And we are also expecting that the new government, under the 100 days, they are also going to take this cause in a big way. So which means this is a very good example and initiative where the small efforts, we all put it the small effort into this, and then this become really big. And especially like to thank you the ESL team to picking this cause, because the scale which we are talking on the India needs, only the EESL kind of player can able to do, and the ESL has to play a very vital role. And happy to hear that in just first to second procurement prices has come down by 20%. I still feel that there are a lot of scope, which I don't want to quote the number because we don't have the number, and but definitely it is going to be much cheaper. We are expecting that a lot of Indonesian is also going to take place. Lot of other manufacturer which India based is going to take these devices forward, though some of the component is going to be challenged. But still, if you say this is the going to be number, India is always we come from the country where the sun rises before the west and the other part. So here also, like in a cooking space, we have a potential. We can actually deploy in very large number, and that can be also replicated in other developing countries and the Africa and the other part of Asia, where the cuisine is more or less same and the kind of cooking pattern and style. So India has the very geographically very vast geography. India consists of deep cold, which Mr. Nitin has mentioned, minus 17 degree. So minus 17 degree, which means virtually the cylinder is frozen. Then we have a hot climatic condition. We all are hearing news on the daily basis that we are in very hot climatic condition. And then the coastal zone. So India has a very vast coastal zone. So which means that the political geography is maybe different, but geographical geography is always going to be the same. The food pattern and all is going to be the same. So any solution worked in India definitely have a higher chance to work in other part of the world. And of course, India is a very cost sensitive. And the ESL, I'm sure that ESL innovative business model, it's not just about that introducing the devices, but definitely the other component, which the innovation component can be the carbon finance, can be any other thing, which I don't want to quote any particular, because here is the open platform where we can think. The ultimate aim is how the cost of procurement and the cost of user expenditure and the user usage is going to be low is the key. And with this, I also want to highlight one or two more point rather. In a Indian cooking space where we have seen the transition from the current level, and some of the people have also talked about that. So the power quality is improving day by day. We have a good faith on the government initiative or the initiative taken by India, where the power quality is improving day by day, which we all aware of that. And Mr. Nitin rightly mentioned. So what the data we have the data from the ground. We have actually went to the ground. We are interacting with the ground. The ground people are very much excited that wherever the power availability is there, and it is going to improve. So that is the another important. And on the power access, government is going to put a lot of effort into that. And then second point, India has already committed to become a 50% green power by 2030. So government is also taking care of that. So it is not just a one-way effort. It is the holistic approach how our even cooking can become a green. And this is the good example. And the one again also want to highlight the Nitinji point. I'm stealing a lot of points from Nitinji. I'm sorry for that. But the country like India, where the logistic is the big challenge, even we let's take a logistic carbon generated from the logistic is also very big. So here we are not talking about just one time, but the multiple time also how we can able to do that. And geographically, it's a very tough and a tough terrain to take these cylinders, blank cylinder coming to the refilling center and then taking it back. So it is a not only challenging, but another interesting point which we got while going in a field. Normally in the rural area, people have to pay the money first, full money payment they have to do. They have to wait for 6-7 days, then their confirmation of the cylinder is coming. By the time they have to, it will take another 3-4 days. So about people are out of cylinder for 10, like a very huge number, maybe like a number can be 10, 0 to 15 days. But this is the situation is coming, which means that it may leading again to the fuel stacking, and then number two, moving back to the traditional fuel. Yes. So this is my thought, and like to hand over to Mr. Sinha.
Thanks, Vimal. I'll be taking over. Actually, Mr. Sinha is also facing a network issue and is traveling. So I'm the backup for today. I will take it over. So Nitin ji, I'll have a couple of questions for you that we've planned for this session.
Yes, please.
Before I just go to those questions, just a small introduction of your other team members from ESL who've joined us today, Mr. Atul Kumar Yadav, who's a Deputy Manager Technical, and Mr. Rahul Gobe, who's the Senior Manager Technical. So Nitinji, my first question, or I would say it's not question, but what we want to understand from the program is that what is the strategy under this program to mitigate the initial costs which are associated for these induction cooktops?
Right. I think I am having my colleague Atul with me, and he is taking care of the entire procurement process under my administrative support. So I think he will better answer this question.
So, first of all, I would like to thank you, Finovista and Max, to organize such a great talk series regarding the scale up of e-cooking through NECP. So, regarding, ma'am, like if I talk about ESL, so ESL is whole USP is all about demand aggregation. So when we talk about especially on National Efficient Cooking Program, so for scaling up, we have 360-degree approach. As you know, for scaling up, we required like to, as there is no doubt in the potential of the e-cooking adoption, because if we see the global data, 40% of the global population is still based on the conventional cooking methods. They are still using conventional cooking methods. And there are several, about 3.2 million deaths had happened in the reported by WHO. Um, Even like substantial part are below at the age of 5 years. So we have scope, even not only in this scenario, like we all have our global challenges, global climate change commitments, whether they are SDG goals or NDCs or national NDC goals. So in this scenario, we are taking like being our USP of demand aggregation, we are taking support from the government. We are approaching SDAs where they have certain amount of funding for the energy efficiency. This is the one part. Second, we are going to the states. They have SNAs, state nodal agencies, as our this national efficient cooking program is you can say a subset, or it's a initiative to support go electric cooking, where electric cooking is one of the main aspects. So in this, first aggregating the demand, very obvious in the very first phase, the demand was not that much higher,
But just a pilot actually.
it's just a pilot, just see the how like it's like one single stove, how it will work, as just very well explained during the talk series. This was used in the worst temperature of like coolest temperature of -17 or -20 degrees in UT Ladakh. Several pilots were done in the worst condition in the test lab, where the temperatures are reduced to maximum more than 50, 55, 60, 70, 80, more than that. So on those parameters. Secondly, the procurement part, we have already sensitized the manufacturer about this program. If you see the participation in the very first phase, we got a very good partner as a Prestige. As we all know, Prestige is one of the dominating manufacturer in home appliances segment. In a similar way, in second phase, not only we aggregated the demand, and the tender is substantially, you can say it, 5 times, 5 folds it multiplied. So this time, it goes up to 1 lakh, and hopefully, if Sir will support in that, he has recently, as new government has formed, we have submitted few papers. Very soon, it will be open to all. And because this is not the right time to disclose it, we have bounded with certain things. So if the program will be go further, so that it will be like what happened to the demand aggregation, we are substantially able to reduce the price. In the very first manner, we reduce the price by 20%. That's again, it's a big achievement. Ma'am.
One more thing, Shitalji, to add on with my colleague Atul said in his answer to your question. Actually, ESL is having a mastery to reduce the rate. You know, when we started our Dell or a Ujala program with only 7 lakhs bulbs in the UT of Puducherry, at that time the cost of LED bulb in the market is around 600 rupees. We procured those 7 lakh bulbs at the rate of 350 rupees. And then after, in the next tender, the price came down up to 150 rupees. And the market players at that time was selling LED bulb at the cost of 350 rupees. We are distributing at the rate of 180 rupees. And then in last tender, our prices came down at the rate of 42 rupees. Right now, we are selling one LED bulb at the cost of 75 rupees, and the market price is still 110 rupees or 100 rupees. So our cost is always effective and always almost 20-30% less than the market price in all of our appliances. Whether you talk about our LED bulb, whether you talk about our BLDC fan, whether you will talk about our AC program, or whether you talk about our this induction cook stove. Right now, in first phase, there is always some challenges to establish a program. In first tender of 20,000, we established that this is an important product. This not only a product who is making your consumption less, but at the same time, it is very easy to carry from one place to another. You need not to pay any transportation price when you want to transfer this appliance from one place to another, one state to another. So in Ladakh, when I went to the Nubra Valley, I find that there is a blockade every time. In every month, there is a landsliding. In every month, there are snowfall. And at that time, the entire roads are blocked. And there are some school-going children are not having food. And that's why their mother or their sister cutting trees and using those wood to prepare the food. I think at that time, this induction cook stove role is very important. I went to Nubra, I went to Janskar, I went to Chantang, and after that, it was decided by the local administration that yes, we will do this in first phase to all of our Anganwadis. Then after, we will try our level best to arrange some funds to provide these appliances to each household, so that it will be a supplementary to their LPG gas stove, and at the same time they are having this induction cook stove. If there might be some blockade, if there might be some hassle in transportation, then this induction cook stove will play a vital role, because right now we are already providing induction cook stove for 1200 wattage. In next phase, we are also planning to have some big induction cook stoves that can cater the need of a family having 15-20 people. Right now, our motive is to confine with 7 people, 8 people in a family. But in next phases, gradually, when we'll achieve some targets, we will find out a way to provide some big cook stoves, not only to the families, but also to the commercial market. In last month, we had a very good meeting with the hotel industry. They said, why you are not giving us the big stoves? We said to them that, sir, we are in the primary phases. After some time, we will do it certainly to help our industry. So this is our planning for the next almost 6 to 8 months to make this popular with all our efforts. Yes.
So we are also exploring option for. So in next tender, we are also
Our senior manager Rahul has also joined. Yes, Rahul.
So in the next tender, we are also exploring the option of providing induction cooktop along with the induction friendly utensils. We are also exploring those options.
I was just coming to that only, that what is the plan with respect to addressing the compatibility issues of the existing utensil sets with the induction cooktops, because we know most of the traditional vessels that we have in our households are not flat bottom induction friendly. So what's the plan for that? So you are going to be considering that in your next place?
Yes. Sheetalji, very shortly, with the help of Finovista and MECS, we are organizing a seminar or a knowledge exchange program with all the manufacturers who are producing these utensils to support this induction cook stove. Actually, we want to do it much earlier in the month of April and May, but because of this model code of conduct, we refrained to do that program at the time. But certainly, in the month of July, we are planning to do it as fast as we can. And at the same time, we are also in talks with the various state governments. We are visiting various state governments, their women and child welfare departments, that please adopt this scheme as early as possible. We are not only confined to the Anganwadis. We are also planning to introduce this induction stove in a much bigger way with much bigger appliances to the government schools. You know, in the states like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and many other states in South India, in each school, they are providing midday meal in the form of dalia, khichdi. And if you provide this induction cook stove there, it will be a very good boon to those people to cook food in a much lesser time, and at the same time they will save a big amount of money that was spent on the LPG. So we are also planning to have this kind of coalition or this kind of collaboration with the state governments.
Okay, got that. What is the planning that's going behind with respect to addressing the aspect of after sales? We all know that when we talk about electrical equipments in general, there is a high requirement as users also, all of us know that there's a high requirement of getting them repaired and serviced. And when we are talking about a technology which is being used like every single day for almost 3 times in a day for hours of duration, we would need that kind of a support. So how have you integrated this requirement within your program?
Actually, my next tender of 1 lakh is done by my senior manager technical along with Atul. I think Rahul will give an answer that how much warranty we are giving that is best in the market. Warranty we are giving.
Warranty, we are offering warranty for 2 years, and in the market, generally warranty is being offered for 1 year. So we are in our tender, we are offering for 2 years. So we are also on the equipment, on the appliances itself, that is a toll-free number. So and we are also providing buffer stock to our client, 1% buffer stock. So in case of emergency, they can utilize the buffer stock, and by the time the defective piece gets rectified. So we are providing such additional induction cook stove as a buffer stock. So they don't face any problem during use of
During
induction.
the use. In the month of December, we launched this program in the UT of Ladakh. At that time, the temperature outside is almost minus 17 degrees. In last 6 months of this operations, we not find a single complaint from that territory. That means the product that was supplied by ESL and the specification that was freezed by the ESL technical team is almost best in the market. And because of this quality, we are getting orders from various SDAs. SDA from Uttarakhand contacted us for this program. He said that we had already done this program in UT of Ladakh. Then they approached to the UT of Ladakh SDA. They said that there is no problem in this product, and we are using this product from last 4-5 months, and they are also giving some buffer stock. But this buffer stock is not of use right now because already the appliances was provided is good quality, and they are not giving any problem right now. So you can understand there is a mouth publicity between the consumers as well. If they think that some product is good, they always try to adopt it as early as possible.
So, ma'am, very well question. But having said that, ESL is very well taken care of the whole service part. First thing, before the product is being opened to the market, it is being tested at 3 levels. First is the basic testing, which is done by the manufacturer in his own calibrated instruments within their premises. Second, we do the PDIs, pre-dispatch inspection, which is done by the completely independent, which is not biased to the manufacturer. We have third party and our officers accompany them during the inspection. Third part, if any case, if we feel if the product is still having some doubts or we want to go for the further testing, we will send it to the NABL accredited lab if required. First part. Second, as Rahul sir mentioned and Nitin sir mentioned, the warranties are very well taken care. Product generally in induction, you will find a warranty of 6 months or maximum to 1 year. Here the warranty exceed from 1.5 years to 2 years. It depends case to case. If the if it is the very early of the stage of the problem, it will goes to 2 years. Rest it will 1.5 years. Third, every product, as we have our own Aadhaar, our induction is having its own Aadhaar. You can ask them how. So it's like, it goes like this. We have a unique code for every induction. So that code will tell you when, like, it's all about the induction, when it is manufacturer, who has manufactured it. It's all about that. And in the worst condition, if something has happened, we have our complaint redressal system that is through various modes, that is through online calling and other ways.
So one more thing I would like to add to what Atul has just said. In our tender, in our scope of work, it has been clearly mentioned that the supplier has to maintain spare parts to get the faulty piece rectified, repaired. So that is very much clearly mentioned in our tender.
Right.
And we have, as far as the pan-India basis is concerned, we have defined 4 zones, and zones.
So we divided the whole country into 4 parts, like north, east, west, south. It will take care, like north zone will take care of the all north zone services, and in similar way, all other zones taking care for their parts. So it will be taken care in that way.
The technician has to maintain all the spare parts to get the faulty piece repaired.
And as I said in the first tender, Prestige was our one of the vendor. You know, their footprints in Pan India. They have presence in all over India, and in this tender also we have got very good suppliers. I know you, Finovista has supported us all the way for that final selection. So this is for our side regarding the service question.
One more thing that is very important when we are doing the first tender of 20,000 induction cook stove. At that time, the players who had participated in the tender was only 4 to 5 players. When we come again with the tender of 1 lakh induction cook stove, the parties increase up to the level of 9. So that means the market also getting confidence on the scheme that was launched by EESL. Number 1. Number 2, one gentleman from the manufacturing company came to me and said, "Bhatsab, we want to meet you." I'm like, "Okay, we can meet anytime." He came to me and said that, "Sir, we are dealing with this induction stove from almost 4 or 5 years, and there are only 20 stories or 25 stories about the clean cooking. In last almost 8-9 months, all media is flooded with the clean cooking initiatives. All media is covering your stories on clean cooking and induction cook stoves. And it is a testimony of our hard work that the Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Foreign Minister Office has approached us to give a plan of 100 days regarding the induction cook stove. That means they are also focusing or also giving a key, they are also keeping a close eye whatever developments are happening in last 8-10 months on clean cooking initiatives. So I think it is a very good initiative that was launched by ESL in last 8-10 months. And it is not only covering the people who are in need, but it is also helpful for the school going boys and girls having their midday meal at school and with much more lesser price.
Thanks, Nitinji and team, for answering that. And I think I had a follow-up, other 3-4 questions which have already got answered. So moving on to the next part, we've all seen that induction cook stoves as a technology is not new in India. But we generally see that though we have an access of this technology, the actual use of this technology is very low. We often see that induction cooktops are used as a good gift, which is passed on from one person to another. It changes hands, but there is very less use. So, which brings me to a point that giving an access to the user of a technology vis-a-vis ensuring that the user is actually using it, there is a lot of work that's needed to actually help the users cook their cuisine in a new technology. Is there any planning to integrate some kind of that support, specifically not in, like, in cities and tier 2 cities? We all are very well versed with new technologies. We have access to videos, we can quickly learn up new things. How do you plan to take the use of this technology to a regional, local, rural level and ensure that access is equal to usage, or maybe at least the usage is improved with this access?
Ma'am, I will give you a small example how we had popularized our LED scheme. You know, when you move from Delhi to Jammu and Kashmir, this highway, on both sides of highways, you are having the eateries that are the dhabas we call. And at every dhabas you had seen almost 6, 7 years before, there are a lot of incandescent bulbs was decorated in each dhabas. So before joining back to the corporate office, I was the head for Haryana, Chandigarh, and Punjab. I went to the one eatery and told them that please remove this incandescent bulb. It is not only harmful for the environment, but at the same time you are losing money for electricity. He said, I need not to pay any bill because I am getting the electricity free of cost with the help of this langar. So I told him that when the light is not there, when there are power cuts, you have to spend a lot of money to run your generator. You have to put a lot of diesel or petrol there to maintain your lighting. If you will take my LED bulb in comparison to the incandescent bulb, your your consumption will be come down to almost 60-70% of lighting. They said, is it there? Is it true? Well, yes. I had given 60 bulbs to that eatery free of cost. And with a promise that if your bill will be reduced down, you will place this all LED bulbs in across Murthal dhabas. And after 1 month, his bill came down up to 8,000 rupees. And after that, these stories were covered by the BBC, Times of India. You can Google it right now, Murthal Dhabas, Murthal Dhaba story. You can Google it right now. You will find that because of our schemes, they are benefited with this LED bulb. Similarly, you are talking about this induction cook stove that in a Diwali gift you find a induction cook stove and then you pass on to some other. Right now, there are various segments when this induction cook stove can do a miracle. There are various hostels across India where small boys who are living far away from their families cooking their food or a snack with the help of this small cylinder and having a cook stove, having a chula there at the top. We have to introduce this induction cook stove there, number one. Number two, Anganwadis, as we said earlier, are the first beneficiary for this because in Anganwadis, almost 70% Anganwadis are using LPG gas cylinder. That is much higher than the price of this induction cook stove. And at the same time, there are other Anganwadis who are using wood and other ways of cooking. This will help them. This induction cook stove will help them to make their food in very lesser time. Number two. Number three, as I said, that we want to popularize scheme from to across the length and the breadth of this country. That's why we had already submitted a proposal to our ministry that there in next 5 years there might be almost 3 to 5 crore PM Awas Yojana houses should be built from one state to another. we have to push this scheme and make it mandatory to make one cook stove in each household. If you'll put it like that, it will help us not only to reduce the subsidy burden on our government, but at the same time, it will help us to make a BPL family or some family who is having this kind of setup more economical, more more sustainable. That is our scheme for next 3 to 5 years. Number one. Number four. Number five. That is very important. That nowadays you have to first convince the political masters, political leaders, those who are giving the directions to the bureaucracy, those who are giving directions to the much lower level. So in our initiative, we are moving to one chief minister or another chief minister, and we are giving a detailed presentation on economical aspect, on the social aspect, as well as the transportation. Right now the transportation is the biggest challenge to transfer one LPG cylinder to one place to another. And when we give this kind of presentation to the ministers or to the member of parliament, they said, yeah, yes, you are absolutely right. In last January, we had written letters to almost 545 member of parliament, and they called us in and they said that this is a very good scheme. We want to do it. So, we are getting a very good response, not only from the states, not only from the leaders, but not only from the bureaucrats, but from the street vendors as well. That's why we are very much optimistic that in next 2 months, we are coming up with a tender of almost 20-25 lakhs induction cook stove. We are planning for that. But we need support from Finovista, we need support from MECS, we need support from the state government, central government, and various departments. That's why in first phase, we are doing this coordination part with all the stakeholders to make this scheme a great scheme, a very much popular scheme like Ujala across India.
Thank you, Nitinji, for answering that. And uh, just one point that when we are talking about such large numbers, it talks about market creation opportunity. The device manufacturers, the suppliers look at this large opportunity. Do you also plan to integrate other technologies of clean cooking in this initiatives also, or it's going to be predominantly focused on induction cooktop with the same specifications? Though you've already mentioned earlier that maybe later you look at larger, commercial use devices and hotel industry would be focused. So what's on that?
Yes, I'm Delhi, man. I'm in Delhi.
May I answer actually, sir?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
So as far as technology is concerned, actually going forward, we may think or we may explore uh, solar integrated induction cook stove. So I mean, because Anganwadis which are at far-fetched, where there is no electricity, so it can serve the goods. So we may explore solar-driven induction cook stove in coming future. But we have to check the feasibility of the project also, because it is due to high capital cost.
As sir has said, and you all are very well aware, we have one pilot in Andaman, which was done. I was there. It was inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister in 2018. That was 30th of December. We have our do's and don'ts from that program, and that report was prepared by Finovista. So one is the solar integration part, which is again, ma'am, when we only talk about induction, we will talk about the capex cost, because our end user is their earning is not that much. So either, as sir has said, we need government support, diplomacy, politics, and everything. Government policy formulation is very important. And second, if technically, if I talk about, if you see the data of the electric cooking, there are three appliances. One is which is most in use. One is induction. Second is rice cooker, which is mostly prominent in South India, and oven. So EPC is one of the technology which we are focusing on and working. Hopefully, in the next coming years, it will be the part of NECP, because electric cooking program, we never focus only on the induction program. So it's like cooking, efficient cooking maybe through induction, through EPC, or either of the devices. Third, as we are talking with the industries, as recently we have talked with the hotel industries, we need to do customization with the product. Initially, this what decided, because there is no installation changes or with socket and circuit need to done. Simple 5 ampere socket will work. So which is very common in every household. So, but in future, I hope solar plus EPC or any other cooking devices or customization with the product will be done as per the requirement.
Great. I think we had two questions on that. That in the remote areas, where you don't have electricity, what's the plan for it? So I think you've answered that question. And there was a question in the chat box with respect to your business model, which you clearly explained on the demand aggregation and the model which is being adopted. So I think the gentleman had missed the earlier discussion. So I think you can refer to this session. We'll put it on, the recording will be put up after the session is done. So you can refer from there. Thank you for this incredible session today. I would really thank, Nitin ji personally for this session today, and Atul and Manishi also. Uh, there were a lot of queries that we other participants as well as in general were there with respect to this program, and I think you've highlighted not only the importance of what lies in store for consumer, but for a lot of device manufacturers in India. And we look forward to the session which you mentioned with respect to meeting up with vessel providers and seeing how that can be integrated within your program. That's going to be a very interesting initiative. So I think we can actually close this session on this note today. And thank you so much. And yeah, bye to all. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for a good session.
Thank you.
Thank you.